Reason number one, intimacy anorexia. Now this might be a new term for you, but it is the number one reason people are sexless that come to my office for intensives, for counseling. It is a paradigm that I've used for many years, and it is also something I'm just going to touch the surface of. We have DVDs on this, books on this. Go to intimacyanorexica.com. Get as much information on this as possible. I'm going to quickly run through defining it, what the characteristics are, and if you are going through this with me, I would get a pencil and just check off yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And if you're watching this alone and you're the sexless person, I would answer these as your spouse would answer them about you, because you might be thinking differently about you than they are, or even have your spouse answer these questions. And this can be in both people, and if it is, it can make the system to become sexual a challenge, but at least you know what the problem is. So intimacy anorexia is the active withholding of spiritual, emotional, and sexual intimacy from your spouse. Everyone else thinks you're a wonderful person. Your community, your friends, your organizations you're part of, they love you. But when you go home, your spouse feels alone and disconnected and unwanted. And I'm going to go through these characteristics with you, yes or no, and if they apply, then this might be your journey of recovery. This might be your journey of restoring your sexuality. Okay, and of all of the different types that we're going to talk about, this is the most intentional version. This person is intentionally, actively withholding intimacy emotionally, spiritually, and sexually from their spouse. It is intentional. It takes them a while to realize it's intentional, because it's almost like their own recovery. They have to get sober a little bit before they realize that they're a drunk. But when you look at the behaviors I'm going to go through, you'll see that these are consistent. They're effective at creating distance and pain. They repeat themselves again and again and again, and they're exclusive to the spouse. Well, those three characteristics right there, exclusive, effective, and repetitive, make it an anorexic behavior that is effective at creating distance and sometimes pain, so that avoidance of sexuality can happen. And so I want to walk through these really briefly. Number one, busy. They're too busy for you. They're not too busy for the volunteer to be friends, the kids, the neighbors, whatever, but they're too busy for you. Okay, there might be a lack of dating, a lack of connecting. They work really late, they come home, they go to sleep. They watch TV, they're on the computer, they're on their cell phone, but they're not with you. Busy. Blaming. They blame you for all the problems in the relationship. If anything's wrong, it's your fault, or if they're acting in anger or confusion, it's because you did it to them. You will always be the blame for everything in the relationship if you're the spouse of this person. Okay? I'm sorry, I'm wrong, very difficult for them. And there's lots of reasons why, and too long to go into right now. Withholding love. They withhold love from you, but especially the way you like to be loved. You know, there's a book, The 5 Love Languages, great book. It talks about people want to be loved through service, or through praise, or through touch, or through gifts, or through quality time. However you really like to be loved, even if it's as simple as having them bring you tea, they won't do it. Because doing it would create closeness, not doing it creates distance. And they want to be distant, and they want, if they can get you to look like the angry, crazy person, even better. Because as they starve you out, you get frustrated. Okay, and you're not your best self. And it's intentional that they keep you in that kind of state, so you look like the person with the problem, and they look good. Next, withholding praise. You rarely get praise unless you're in public. If you're in public, they'll hold your hand, put their arm around you, and say how wonderful you are, and that's it. At home, you will very rarely hear a praise. Withholding spiritually, even if they're a rabbi, a pastor, a spiritual leader, whatever, you will get no spirituality at home. No praying together, or worshiping together, or connecting together on a spiritual basis, meditation, regardless of religious belief system or spiritual belief system, and those are two different things. You will not feel spiritually connected to them. Now, they might be spiritual in their community, but with you, it's alone. Withholding sex. Now, there's different versions of withholding sex. They might withhold having sex. They might withhold being present during sex. Okay? So just either one of those can be happening. Feelings. unwilling or unable to share their true feelings with you. They can do with the opposite sex with other people, they can have friends they can talk to, but with you, they have a hard time sharing the feelings with you because that would create closeness. They don't want closeness, they want distance, so withholding it maintains distance. Using anger or silence as a way to control you, the spouse. If things are getting too close, they get angry at you, they push you back, or they shut you down by not talking to you. I've had couples who haven't talked to each other for days or weeks, okay, as an act of punishment. All right, so that could be happening. Criticism, ongoing criticism or ungrounded criticism. They tend to have a negative story about their spouse that they make up. It's not true, but whenever they want, they can just impose this negative story on you. It's always a critical story. It's never, my spouse is awesome, supportive, creative, and strong and powerful, and they love me with all their heart. It's usually, you're this, you're that, you don't do that. And it's a negative, critical story. Money is the least frequent of this, where they might withhold money or control you by letting you have as much as you want and do what you want as long as you leave them alone. Lastly, you feel like roommates. When you describe your relationship, we're roommates. We're like best friends, but we get along fine, but there's not this romantic quality to your relationship, okay? If you circle 5 or more yeses on that, you're probably living with an intimacy anorexic, and this is intentional behavior, and you really want to get more information on this. This is something, go to intimacyanorexia.com, get everything you want, watch everything you want on YouTube, whatever. You need more information on this. This often needs professional help, and this is not something that gets better. It only gets worse over time, so you want to treat it as soon as you identify it. And if you need help with that, please call our office, 719-278-3708. Please do that.